they compromised people.
And it's been going on forever.
Yeah,
forever, dude.
It's got to be going on right now still.
100%.
But this was Joe Rogan. He wasn't speculating or going on a rant. He was reading straight from the Epstein files. Then he said the one thing that made the entire room go silent.
Is there a Jeffrey Epstein right now that we don't know about?
There's a million of them.
A million. Not one, not a few, a million. But here's the part that nobody, and I mean nobody, is connecting right now. It wasn't only about who visited the island. It wasn't only about who flew on the plane. Joe Rogan went deeper than that. He pointed to something in those files about what those gatherings were allegedly doing to the people involved. Not just politically, not just legally.
If you really do the math, there has to be so many high-level powerful people somehow compromised.
Compromised. That was the word carrying more weight than most people realized. According to the discussion, Joe Rogan was not only talking about blackmail. He was describing something deeper. A system built to get inside every weakness a person had, their secrets, their vices, even their sense of control, and hold power over them long after the moment had passed. And the names said to be tied to that system were presented as shocking enough to stun anyone listening. Then came January 30, 2026, when reports claimed the United States Department of Justice released what was described as the largest document dump connected to the Epstein case. The numbers being repeated were staggering. More than 3 million pages, 180,000 images, and 2,000 videos, all allegedly pushed onto the public internet at once. Online reaction was immediate chaos, with everyone searching for the same answers: who flew on the plane, who visited the island, who signed what. And almost instantly, one unexpected name started trending: Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I'm in the files for not going. Jeffrey Epstein was trying to meet with me.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, and I was like, what?
I'm like, no thanks.
And just like that, Joe Rogan moved quickly to address it. He explained that back in 2017, a physicist named Lawrence Krauss, who had appeared on his podcast, passed along a message. Jeffrey Epstein had reportedly reached out, said he thought Rogan was funny, and wanted an introduction. Rogan said he searched the name, found the 2008 conviction involving soliciting a minor, and immediately shut the idea down.
Yeah, but I would have never went anyway. It's like, it's not even a possibility that I would have went. But especially after I Googled it. I was like, what the f*** are you talking about?
One Google search, that was all it took. According to the story being told, it kept Joe Rogan out of those files for the reasons he later explained. But while reviewing documents to verify his own account, he said he came across something that had nothing to do with him personally. What he described was deeper than Jeffrey Epstein as an individual. It was framed not as a simple list of names, but as a broader system of leverage and control. The reaction being emphasized was not relief, but dread, because the implication was that these gatherings were not merely parties where misconduct happened, but environments allegedly structured to create lasting vulnerability for the people inside them. The claim being made was that once someone crossed that threshold, consequences could follow long after they left. In that framing, Rogan was said to reinterpret the entire story, not random scandal, but an organized mechanism built around influence, secrecy, and pressure.
I bet it was a real good honeypot, where there's a lot of sophisticated intellectual discourse. You got a lot of brilliant people there. You've got great music, you know. You got like famous people are hanging around too.
Yeah.
It seems really cool. And then, if there's blackmail, the blackmail is like snuck into all this.
Yeah.
Snuck in, come to the room with the cameras. And next thing you know, you're doing cocaine.
Snuck in. That word carries the weight of the entire idea. This wasn't presented as a blunt or chaotic operation that announced its danger openly. It was described as something far more calculated, an environment engineered to appear elite, intellectually engaging, and exclusive at the highest level. And once someone became comfortable inside it, once familiarity replaced caution, the situation was said to shift and the trap effectively closed, and this is where the claims turn more unsettling. The documents were described as going beyond visitor lists, pointing instead to correspondence, emails, draft messages, and saved notes within Jeffrey Epstein's accounts. Within that material, it suggested there were details so precise and personal that they were interpreted as revealing the type of leverage the entire system was allegedly built to create.
These two drafted emails are both dated July 18, 2013, and they were saved in Jeffrey Epstein's email accounts. They appear to be draft emails from Epstein to itself. It's not actually clear who authored them, and there's no indication the messages were ever sent.
According to some reporting and interpretations of materials attributed to the broader Epstein document set, one draft email is described as referencing a situation involving a prominent billionaire and an alleged medical issue. In that account, the draft is said to mention claims about handling sensitive consequences, including requests to delete communications and avoid leaving any digital trace, as well as references to obtaining antibiotics discreetly. The individual named in those unverified draft references is reported as Bill Gates. However, it's important to be clear that these claims are not independently verified, and the contents and context of such drafts remain disputed and interpreted differently across reporting, with no confirmed evidence establishing them as factual events.
A representative for Gates strongly denied those claims, telling CNN they were, quote, absolutely absurd and absolutely false.
The email is, false. So I don't know what his thinking was there. It just reminds me, every minute I spent with him, I regret and I, apologize that I did that. It's factually true that I was only at dinners. I never went to the island. I never met any women.
Bill Gates has denied all allegations connected to the claims, and it's also important to note that the emails being referenced were described as draft material, not confirmed sent communications. Their authenticity has not been verified, and no independent proof has established them as factual exchanges. However, what is often pointed out in reporting is the documented record of contact between Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein over a number of years. These records are said to include dinners in 2010, meetings in 2011, and continued interactions through 2013 and 2014, along with mentions of a planned meeting in Norway and calendar reminders linked to Skype calls. What makes this period notable in discussion is that some of these interactions are reported to have taken place after Epstein's 2008 conviction, which has fueled ongoing scrutiny and debate around the nature and context of those meetings.
They all hung out with him even after he got arrested. This is what's crazy.
That is crazy.
A lot of Bill Gates meetings with him were after he was prosecuted, and he got this little slap on the wrist, and he got essentially home detainment.
So the question being raised isn't just rhetorical anymore. It turns into a simple why. Why would powerful people keep any kind of contact with a convicted sex offender unless something about that connection made walking away feel harder than staying? In this framing, it's described as a mechanism, but that remains an interpretation, not a verified fact. There is no confirmed evidence of hidden systems or coercion behind these relationships. Publicly, Bill Gates has acknowledged past meetings with Jeffrey Epstein and said he regrets them, while also denying wrongdoing. As for Melinda French Gates, she has spoken about the end of her marriage in terms of trust and personal differences, not confirming the kinds of broader claims being discussed online.
No girl should ever be put in the situation that they were put in by Epstein and whatever was going on with all of the various people around him. For me, it's personally hard whenever those details come up, right? Because brings back memories of some very, very painful times in my marriage.
She left the marriage and explained that she also had to step away from the foundation. She mentioned that the details surrounding Epstein brought back memories from some of her most painful years. She didn't go into specifics, but she didn't really need to. People watching understood the implications on their own, filling in the gaps from what was said and what was left unsaid. This is the kind of ripple effect Joe Rogan has been referring to in his commentary. In his view, it doesn't only affect the individual who is directly involved, but it can also spread outward in different ways. It can impact relationships, families, public perception, and even how someone's entire legacy is viewed over time. Now, when it comes to the celebrity side of this story, that's where things get even more intense. Rogan has repeatedly pointed out one key idea about the Epstein-related files. In his words, the most risky people in that orbit were often not those who knew everything in detail, but the ones who only had partial knowledge, enough to be connected, but not enough to fully understand the bigger picture.
I would hear about Chris Tucker and people hopping on the plane to go there. I didn't know that Epstein was, the bad guy that he is now, but I was like, damn, I would love to go.
That's Terrence Howard, by the way, in a clip that's been widely circulated, where he talks in a very casual way about elite social circles and the idea of invitations carrying status. People online have interpreted his comments in different ways, but it's important to note the context is often debated, and then Chris Tucker's name has also been brought up in online discussions around alleged flight logs. He has addressed questions about his connection in past interviews, and much of the conversation around it continues to circulate through speculation and media commentary rather than confirmed detail.